Okay. I know I've featured her quite a bit. I can't help it. She's so representative of so many of these estranged parents, and she puts the content out there, and I guess she's in my algorithm and all the things. So let's just get into her.
It's okay to walk away from your estranged child and not have guilt.
Okay, wait a minute. You're not walking away because there's no contact with you. Let's just start right there. It's okay to walk away from someone you're estranged from, or that's estranged from you. Does that make sense? Am I confused?
I have decided that I don't want to reconcile and I don't have guilt. I heard my son's voice yesterday, and honestly, it sounded like a stranger. He was talking to one of his siblings, and I heard the conversation, and I didn't even recognize the person that was on the other end of the phone. I miss the child who he was. I miss the person that he was before he became in a relationship with his wife. I miss the relationship that we had.
I miss the control I had over him. I miss that he didn't see how fucked up and dysfunctional I am. I miss the version of him that didn't ask me to take accountability or require me to be respectful or follow boundaries. I miss the version of him that prioritized me above everyone and all else. She doesn't want to reconcile with this version of him. Absolutely. She is discarding. This is what the discard looks like after the estrangement has already occurred, by the way. She's saying it out loud, and it's a message to him because she does know that he finds out about the content and things that she's making, and they probably monitor it a little bit just to make sure she doesn't do something extra level, next level, far out. There have been things she's deleted over time. She goes after her daughter-in-law pretty hardcore. So, there's that. So this is a discard message to him, in my opinion, in my point of view, based on what I see. And now, I don't even know how many videos I've now made studying these estranged parents, and I wasn't even thinking of it as a study, and it's actually turning into one. I know the patterns of behavior. I mean, I work with narcissistic family system abuse survivors. I'm a therapist. I know the patterns. I experienced the patterns firsthand as a child who was grew up underneath that family system. I wasn't raised by them because raising implies nurture, in my opinion. I'm also noticing the different types of estranged parents, just in terms of the ones who are the discarders, the ones who are who probably have personality disorders, the ones who are also emotionally immature. However, they likely have something else going on beyond that. They're not going to change. They're not going to evolve. They're not going to grow. There are the camp over here, and they cling on to each other. They have formed clubs, and they call them support groups and blah, blah, blah. And they're like this. And if one of the estranged parents in that grouping, and I'm going to try, there's another video. I'm going to do a video where you can see how one estranged parent turned on the other. I haven't seen the original video that caused it, so I'll get there. Anyway, I'm going to do it. If you want to see when new content drops, make sure that you have your notification button on, and that way you'll know when it's coming out. Anyway, there's this camp. And if one of the estranged parents starts saying, I'm trying to figure out what my part to play was, or my adult son or adult daughter called me the other day and we're going to go to therapy or whatever, by and large, it seems to me that there's a, oh, really? That's great kind of thing, or they're booted out because they're saying something contrary to their belief system. and they turn on them, and then they talk behind their back like mean girls. And I say mean girls because I haven't seen any men in these groups. I'm not saying there aren't any. That's what I've seen. And the reason I know that is because I caught a portion of a live where they were doing just that. And so I'm not pulling this out of thin air. It's come from somewhere. It's come from a tangible video that I actually saw. And then they caught themselves, so they didn't continue on because they recognize people can screen record. They're not, I'm not going to insult their intelligence. Anyway, and then there's the group over here that's kind of breaking away. They are more self-aware. They are somewhat self-aware because these ones aren't self-aware at all. And they're likely emotionally immature, trying to figure it out. And some of them are healing out loud and processing out loud. And as they are looking at resources that are helping them to understand themselves better and things like that. The unfortunate part of this group, they start out feeling like a part of this. And the videos that they make, they don't realize are likely going to damage their relationships with their adult sons and daughters further and might prevent repair in those relationships. So anyway, it's turning into a bit of a study, and I'm going to do something around it. I'm just not sure what that looks like yet as I take more time to dive into this. Okay, let's carry on with her. And by the way, if you want content before I carry on with her that has more like journal prompts, healing tips, talking about what we're left with and things like that, there is a join button on all my videos now. There's a membership area to the platform. There's different options that you can choose from. You hit the join button. It doesn't automatically join you to access the resources that are meaningful for you. I'm always going to create this content. The subscription part of this, I will continue to do the covering and things like that. The journal prompting and things like that is a little bit more about my own journey also, but my therapy practice and that sort of thing. So there's like a $3 or $4 fee that comes with that. And really the reason I'm doing that is it supports the time that I put into doing this, because all this content, literally now thousands of videos, take an extraordinary amount of time, and I would like to be able to just balance it out a little bit and at the same time provide a service that you're looking for that is consistent with what I'm all about, which is us continually healing and growing together and being supportive of one another in our communities. So anyway, that's just a little tidbit there, because I know if I don't talk about it, people don't know that there is another option available to you. And I didn't realize that. I just thought you see it on the video, you click it, whatever. So that's why I'm informing you. Okay. If you have questions about that, let me know. Let's get back to the subject at hand. I also want you to know that in her handle, she dubs herself Queen, and I won't mention the rest of the handle. And I say this because she's accused her daughter-in-law of being the queen bee, yet how ironic that her name on her platform is Queen something something.
I miss the relationship that we had. The person that he is today, I don't recognize. I don't know him. I know that he chose this estrangement. I know that it's taken me a long time to heal and to process and to let go of the guilt and the blame. I don't own that blame anymore. I don't walk with my head in shame anymore.
For context, I'm not sure how many years the estrangement has been in place. I do know there was a point in time that she mentioned that they have been on and off approximately 7 times. So approximately 7 times her estranged adult son, and I think some of those times daughter-in-law, because she has grandchildren from them, would come around and try to be in a relationship. So whatever was going on in those 7-ish times, she wasn't altering her behavior and respecting boundaries. And the way that she has spoken, you can really tell that she has difficulty understanding that boundaries don't apply to her, that she is not entitled to grandparent any which way she chooses. She does have venom for her daughter-in-law, which is the mother of her grandchildren, and it seeps out in her videos that you can see there's disdain there. She seems to be resentful of the fact that she has to share her adult son. And as an additional noteworthy side note, she mentioned how she heard her son's voice speaking to his younger siblings that live with her and her husband. The son is in a full-on relationship with her husband, his father. She's literally the only one at this point in time, based on her videos, and I've watched many of them, that does not have a relationship with her adult son, her daughter-in-law, and their children. What do you think of that? Who do you think the problem might be? If you're like, she's the only one that they are, two adult people who are married, who love their parents enough. I mean, they went back in, the son went back in 7 different times, and she's still the only one that they aren't in a relationship with. Oh, because the son is no longer her little boy. She said it. Let's point that out. Let me highlight that before I forget.
I did everything that I could to heal this relationship, and he decided to still walk away. That door is shut. He shut that door. I did not. So I am not going to sit here and cry buckets for a child who's not shedding a drop. We can stay stuck. We could stay in that, why did this happen?
He's not a child. I'm sorry. If that startled anyone. Snarky Sparky.
We can stay stuck in the what should I do? But in all actuality, is it up to you? It's not. They say they want accountability, but what does that look like? Because if they've blocked...
Why did this happen? What should I do? Stay stuck? You know why it happens. Because you've told on yourself in so many different videos. There's one video where she talks about walking into the house without knocking, and that her daughter-in-law got angry at her. And she was merely walking in because everybody was already there, like it was her house. And there's more to it. Or how about the times when you've talked about, we just want to love our grandchildren the way we want to love them. And, if that means giving them an extra treat or whatever, this controlling behavior of these daughter-in-laws, she generalizes it, but they just want to control how we grandparent. You have admitted that you know what the problem is, what the problems are, and you don't want to alter your behavior because you feel like it's a power struggle for control. Control over the time that you get to spend with your son, who is now somebody's husband. Control over how you get to build your relationships with your grandchildren while snubbing their mother. Ooh, very snarky sparky. Me, I am very snarky sparky. Ooh.
They say they want accountability, but what does that look like? Because if they've blocked us, how do we take and accept and own accountability?
I don't know, maybe during one of those periods of time when you were not blocked and you had access, you could have taken accountability there. This goes back to that thing of, estranged parents will go, well, how are you going to know if I've changed if you blocked me? Well, because every time I've unblocked you and tried to connect with you and I've gone through therapy and done the things, nothing has changed. So how many times do I have to take that chance and be hurt again before it's good enough? Like, how many times does a person get to violate you before you go, no, I don't want to know if you've changed, because the betrayal has run so deep now that even if you have, I can never really trust you and be safe with you again. That really eventually becomes the bottom line. My mother could suddenly I know she won't. Take accountability. Show that she's sorry, not just say she's sorry. Be a completely different person, and I can no longer entertain a relationship with her because the betrayal has run so deep that I can't trust that she won't betray me again. And I definitely can't trust that I would survive it because she is next level. Like I'm not talking emotionally. I can survive her emotionally. I'm talking even physically. I would never put myself in harm's way like that. I love myself way too much. There is a point where it happens enough times that we have to ask ourselves, can I trust this person, and why do I want to try to, based on all of these betrayals?
I hope that everyone gets to a point where they let go of that anger. And I hear parents saying, I can't live without my children, but you can. You lived with them before, and you can live with them now. Do not identify yourself as a parent alone. You are more than that. And if you choose to walk away, that's okay, and that's your choice. Begin to heal from this. Begin to see your worth, own your truth, and it's okay to walk away. Have a good day.
Yeah, I hope you estranged parents out there are just like me, so that we can all validate that we weren't wrong to one another, and that, we weren't, we don't have anything to be accountable for. Let's keep our group together. Let me give you this advice, not on how to repair your relationship or what I wish I had done differently or what I should have done better, but rather let's just give you permission to continue to do the things that you do and not make any real changes. Because this word heal, like she's not using it to indicate anything other than using the word, right? It's okay to not be self-reflective. It's okay not to look at our part and our accountability. It's okay not to dig in. It's okay not to go to therapy, and just let them go because it's easier. Because they're not that important to us anyway. Which is true, because if they were that important to you, if your adult son was that important to you, and she goes on and on about her grandchildren and bypasses him and his wife much of the time anyway, she's hyper focused, of course, on the grandchildren. Let's just go with this, if the grandchildren were as important to you from a place of love, you would move heaven and earth, and that would mean facing your demons and going into, and I don't mean demons, demonic and Satan and all that, facing the things that hurt you, facing the demons of your own behavior, that sort of thing. You would take your butt into therapy, and you would do everything that you could to become a person who provides safety, respect, and value to your adult son, to your daughter-in-law. And then therefore you would be a great role model for your grandchildren that you profess to love so much. So I'm going to leave this right here. Thank you so much for being with me. And I know somebody's going to comment on it. Yes, she uses filters. A lot of the estranged parent uses filters, and she uses wigs, and she was talking about that. We're not taking shots at her looks. I'm not taking a shot at her look. I'm taking a shot at this, though. She has stated that she has lost most of her hair and has a problem with losing her hair because of the stress that her daughter-in-law has caused her. So, yeah, I'll just leave it here. All right. See you soon. Thank you so much for being here with me.
It's okay to walk away from your estranged child and not have guilt. I have decided that I don't want to reconcile, and I don't have guilt. I heard my son's voice yesterday, and honestly, it sounded like a stranger. He was talking to one of his siblings, and I heard the conversation, and I didn't even recognize the person that was on the other end of the phone. I miss the child who he was. I miss the person that he was before he became in a relationship with his wife. I miss the relationship that we had. The person that he is today, I don't recognize. I don't know him. I know that he chose this estrangement. I know that it's taken me a long time to heal and to process and to let go of the guilt and the blame. I don't own that blame anymore. I don't walk with my head in shame anymore. I did everything that I could to heal this relationship, and he decided to still walk away. That door is shut. He shut that door. I did not. So I am not going to sit here and cry buckets for a child who's not shedding a drop. We can stay stuck. We could stay in that, why did this happen? We can stay stuck in the, what should I do? But in all actuality, is it up to you? It's not. They say they want accountability, but what does that look like? Because if they've blocked us, how do we take and accept and own accountability? I hope that everyone gets to a point where they let go of that anger. And I hear parents saying, I can't live without my children, but you can. You lived with them before, and you can live with them now. Do not identify yourself as a parent alone. You are more than that. And if you choose to walk away, that's okay, and that's your choice. Begin to heal from this. Begin to see your worth, own your truth, and it's okay to walk away. Have a good day.